All right, folks, so in this video, we're going to do perpetual inventory. In the last one, we did periodic inventory where we found inventory prices for FIFO, LIFO, and weighted average. In this one, we're going to do gross profit method and retail method. To refresh your memory, we have 22 items in our inventory. Each one has a retail cost of $65. We found three cost uh, amounts for inventory, 327.70, 301.90, and 317.32, as well as the market value of 317.90. Any of those, according to accounting principles, would be correct. So going on to the next chart here, we're going to fill out these two charts and see if we get the same or similar amounts here. All right, beginning inventory January 1st is going to be $202.50. We already found that when we did the FIFO and LIFO methods. So the amount's going to be 202.50. The purchases to date is going to be the total cost of everything that we got after beginning inventory, which is down here 2538. Let's put that in there. 38. Okay. Adding up total merchandise available for sale over the course of the year. $2,740.50. That should look familiar because that's what we found down here. Okay. All right, going back to the perpetual chart here. Net sales to date. Well, our net sales amount, we can find that by taking a look at our units here. Well, we know we had in inventory 190 units over the course of the year, and we know we sold all but 22 of them. So 190 units minus 22 is the amount we sold. That amount would be 168. 168 units is what we sold at the retail price, which is 65 bucks, is our total there, 10,920 bucks. And what we got to do now is figure out our gross profit percentage of our retail price, and we will do just that. Let's go down here and start filling out the retail method, and we'll eventually get to where we need to be. Okay, so beginning inventory again is 202.50. The net purchases 2538. That should look familiar because these were the exact same numbers from the top one. And the total is going to be 2,740.50. So those are our cost numbers. We already have those. We already have our net sales amount, which is 10,920. Now what we got to do is figure out our retail amounts of inventory and purchases. So beginning inventory, we had 15 units. Well, okay. 15 units times the retail price of 65 bucks. Our beginning inventory had a retail price of 975 bucks. Our net purchases, let's talk about that. Everything beyond those 15 units were net purchases for a total cost of 2,538. That's the cost. We need the retail amount. Okay, so we know we had a total of 190 units, and the first 15, our beginning inventory was 15 units. So our purchases would include any of the subsequent shipments that we brought in. 190 minus 15 is 175. Let's just check to make sure that sum is 175. So we added 175 units to our inventory. 175 times the retail price of 65 bucks. Add those up. 12,350. Okay. We have our net sales in here as well. Next thing I want to do is find our percentages here. Our cost to retail percentage, I'm going to put it just so we make that we clarify these percentages. Gross profit to retail, cost to retail percentage. All right, this percentage is going to be the retail percentage. It's going to be the cost amount divided by the retail amount. We're going to figure out what percentage of cost makes up our retail price. Remember, of course, retail is basically combined cost and gross profit. Okay, so we'll take 2,740.50, divide that by 12,350. I got 0.2219, a bunch of decimal points. We can round this to 22.2. We could round this to 22.19, or we could keep this number as is. The more decimal points we have, places we have, the more accurate our number is going to be. The more we round, the less pinpoint accurate number we're going to have, but at some point we got to cap it off. But let's leave that number as is for right now, 0.221902834. Up here now, let's do this. Let's take 1 minus this decimal point, because these two have to equal 100% or like 1. So the gross profit percentage of the retail price is like 0.778 or 77.81%, 77.8097, whatever. All right, so we have these two amounts here. If we were to add these two, they would equal 1. As you can see right there, we highlight them both, they equal 1. All right, so what we're going to do up here in the gross profit method to kind of finish this one off is we're going to take the net sales times the percentage of which is gross profit, 77.8%. That gives us a number of 8,496.82. Now we're going to subtract these. We're going to subtract our net sales minus the dollar amount that is gross profit to be left with the dollar amount that is cost. The cost of the merch that we sold is 2,423.18. Now to figure out what our inventory is. Well, the cost of what we sold is that, so the cost we had left is going to be our total merchandise minus the estimated cost of merch sold. So I got 317.32. That should sound familiar. Look at that. That's the periodic amount. Weighted average. All right, 317.32 is going to be our retail method, or sorry, gross profit method. Let's do this retail method now. We already have a bunch of it filled in. We're going to do a subtraction problem here. We're going to take merch available for sale minus the inventory at retail, or sorry, we're going to take merch available for sale minus net sales to get the inventory amount we have at the retail price, but we want to find the cost of retail, so, or the cost of inventory. So we're going to take this 1430, which is our retail amount of what we had in stock, and we're going to multiply that by 22.19%. I got 317.32 once again, right? So these two numbers are actually the same, and the reason they're the same is because these are so unrounded. We're going to like 8 decimal points, so that's going to be pretty accurate. All right, last thing we got to do is the merchandise inventory turnover ratio. So here it is. Beginning inventory, we have that as 202.50. Ending inventory, let's use what we just found, 317.32. Okay, to find average inventory, we're going to add them both up, divide by 2. You could do this with your phone, or you could do this with an Excel document formula. So what I'll do is I'll add our beginning inventory plus our ending inventory. We're going to put that in a quantity. I'll divide that quantity by 2. I got 259.91. That is our average inventory. Theoretically, at any point in the year, like on average, we would have this amount of cute pet costumes in our store. Cost of merch sold is going to be 2423.18. And the average inventory is what we just found, 259.91. Okay, we'll take cost of merch sold divided, all right, so there's going to be like a division mark there. Or maybe not. All right, we'll take cost of merch sold divided by the average inventory. We're going to get this thing called the turnover ratio, 9.32. That 9.32 means that our inventory turns over 9 1/3 times per year. Let's see how many days that translates to. The average, or the number of days in a year doesn't change. That's 365, and our turnover ratio is what we just found, 9.32. Okay, To figure out how many days our product will sit on the shelf, we'll take 365 divided by the turnover ratio. Basically, our product is going to stay on on average, our product will stay on the shelf over the past year for 39.15 days. So 39 to 40 days a product sells. That's a lot of days. That's probably not great for the business, but it is what it is. So in these two videos, we've covered periodic inventory, we've covered perpetual inventory using numbers that we had available to us, and we completed the turnover ratio and average number of days upon which a product sits on the shelf. Thanks for watching. Feel free to consult these videos anytime you have a question.